Friday, not Thursday, but it is time for the DeFi Kingdom's weekly AMA. Um, I did want to start with just a quick note, and I will make an announcement about this a little bit later as well. Obviously, due to some recent events that we'll be talking about momentarily, we are anticipating that we might see a uptick in folks joining our Discord, which is always a good thing to see. However, it does also mean that there's a higher chance for some folks with ill intent to slip through the cracks. We do keep an eye on everybody who joins the server and try to weed them out before they have a chance to do anything. But, nothing is perfect. So just stay vigilant, be careful. No one from the team will ever DM you first. None of our mods will DM you first. If somebody is DMing you, asking you to click on links, that's bad. No one needs your seed phrase. Please use the Report Scammers channel if anything like that does happen. But especially when we see an uptick in incoming volume, there's usually an uptick in those folks as well. So just stay safe and be careful. Outside of that, I actually thought that we would spend this AMA getting a skydiving tutorial from Dreamer. So Dreamer, you've got 56 minutes. Teach us how to skydive.
Impossible, unfortunately.
Also, if anything goes wrong with my parachute, I blame you. But
that's why you got two. You always got two.
Always have a backup. Absolutely. In all seriousness, if you have not learned that skydiving is one of Dreamer's hobbies, not habits, that'd be a little bit extreme, but hobbies, then you have not watched the next Crypto Gem, which we can now officially confirm that we are on, and the first episode has aired. And I really just wanted to hand it over to Dreamer and let you say whatever you want.
Sure, yeah. So I know this is an AMA, and we're going to make sure we focus on the questions that we get. I don't think we have questions related to this week, but in the future, we're going to be looking at creative ways to interact with our community, whether it's here or if there's demand for it, other ways to either review or talk about it. So I don't want to take too much time. However, the show was a very interesting experience. When we were considering applying, there were folks in the community that were definitely kind of advising and suggesting. One of the main supporters in our community, Crypto Grady, which will be on his stream later today. I think Fox, myself, and Jet, one of the executive producers of the show, will be on there to talk a little bit more. But it was kind of a risk, right? First time seeing a reality show like this. How are they going to portray us? the time spent and everything. And internally, we thought that the risk of not participating was higher than participating and maybe having it be not go as like good, or maybe not be portrayed as like well as expected. So hope people are going to be proud of and excited on how we showed up and represented the community, the game, and the challenges. It's currently available on the app. I think Distro TV is what it's called. That was a new app to me. I believe if you go download that and you just search crypto, it's the only thing that pops up. If you're on the main page and you're like scrolling down, you'll see categories. With a category of business and finance, it's one of 4. So it's pretty cool for people that do use that app. And if it gets more popular, it's pretty well highlighted. It is also going to be on other streaming platforms, I believe. I'll leave the details out because I don't know exactly what's live or not, as it seems to be a moving target. But the last piece was, I think it was supposed to be airing on cable on a platform that has like 450 to 500 million homes. And I think last minute there was a change that was moved to October 2nd. So it's kind of like a pre-screening right now on the streaming and like a Distro TV platform. So we can all watch it 1 episode a week. I think it's every Tuesday going forward. And then starting October 2nd, it's going to be interesting because I think they'll overlap a little bit. That's when mass audiences that may be tuning in to TV rather than like intentionally going to find the stream are going to start consuming it and reacting to it. And we've been doing a ton of work. Bolan said we can finally talk about this. It's not only has been a secret, but it's been a big part of our strategy. The partnership with Halliday, the tutorials, the website revamp that came out before, and things that are still in the works are all related to this potentially large marketing opportunity. So this first phase of like a pre-screening, we're excited to get some feedback and to see how likely a good chunk of the crypto community reacts to it and gets exposure to DFK, learns a little bit more about who we are, what we've been doing, and maybe come back or come check us out. And then we have a whole nother wave after that of people that probably don't even know what most of crypto, Web3, and other things are. And the shows aim to be more around education and how we contribute to that and stand out relative to the other finalists. We're really excited about that exposure. So big shout out to the team. Shout out to the community that has supported us, especially Crypto Grady, and then getting closer with George, Brian, Leia, and others on the show, as well as the producers in the background and the directors. Great experience, good for DFK, good for crypto. And if anything, maybe not as good for me because it makes me really nervous and uncomfortable to watch myself on there. So we'll see how that goes. Please be kind, and excited to see the final product because I haven't seen the episodes. So when they come out, I might look at that and be like, what the heck? They cut out all the good parts. So yeah. Bolan, anything else you wanted to add there?
I think you covered it pretty well. I think episodes are on Thursdays, but now I'm questioning that, so I'll have to double check that myself.
I think they were meant to be, and on the Hourglass post, they gave 2 updates. One that it would be on Distro TV, 1 episode a week for the next, I guess 6 weeks, because I think there's 7 episodes total, and it's going to be at Tuesday going forward. I think I remember 6 p.m. Eastern. And then October 2nd is when the Insight TV distribution through cable and other platforms, I think that's also like Peacock and others, that's October 2nd.
Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, make sure you're keeping up because things do change, as we should all be familiar with. Aside from that, I think you covered it really well. I would just second the statement that having it in the kind of 2 phases is in some ways a really unique opportunity to see it and to get feedback, and then also have the bigger release afterwards. So I actually think that could be a pretty cool thing. So looking forward to it. Anybody have anything else they wanted to add on that topic before we go to our next one? All right. I also meant to mention, but I forgot. We're going to do some updates before we go into
Wait, I
questions.
was gonna say some things, but I couldn't find the unmute button.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to say kudos to Dreamer on this. You know, he put a lot of work and effort into it, and he like really put himself out there. And yeah, I think I've seen a ton of really good feedback from everyone here in the community, and I think he did an amazing job. But if you see him in chat, just feel free to stop him on the back and give him a shout out. And also, aside from that, we have been doing a lot of work to like really be in a good position to capitalize off of the influx of eyes that'll be on us at like this time. So that's part of why we've done things with like Holiday, lowering the barrier of entry for the non like Web3 natives, and just trying to really just make sure we're in a good spot to receive those people and educate them and onboard them on the crypto like we do best. So yeah, huge shout out to the team as well that's been working hard on that.
Yes, and only slap Dreamer on the back, not in the face, to clarify. Uh, let's see. So, moving into some other updates that we have going down. Hubert, I hear that you have a love of hats.
Sure do. Yeah, so little surprise for you guys. We do have, I think actually we did allude to this a little bit, but um, with the end of the leveling event for our second birthday, we can now announce that there was a secret prize tied to this, where every wallet that participated and leveled up during the event will receive a equipable birthday hat accessory for every unique hero that they leveled up during that time. So these accessories won't have a bonus on them, but they do have 3 enchantment slots. So down the road, they could be augmented to actually give you benefits in combat. And otherwise, they can just be equipped because they're birthday hats and you can wear them. So you can look forward to that. And let's see, am I doing any other updates or just that for now?
You can go ahead and do your other one as well, but I wanted to add for anybody who paid attention, the birthday hats made appearances. So there was a little hint towards those birthday hats in some of our graphics. But yeah, go ahead, Hubert. Sorry.
Okay, yep, yes. And let's see. So we don't have Beetle here at the moment. He had a dentist appointment, so I will kind of cover for some of the things that he would have said. So we did just barely yesterday release a bunch of different things. Among those was the new tutorial system, which shout out to Dr. Zipper for spearheading all of that effort. I think it looks really great, and as has been mentioned, we're making efforts to reduce the friction of like joining DFK and getting into the game and everything like that. I think this is a wonderful step forward in that direction. Along with that, though, we did include a combat tutorial that you guys may have tried out. You may have noticed also that the balance, if anyone has tried like the combat testing grounds, we have been working hard on revamping and rebalancing the skills. Let's see. So I think over the past few months, actually, we've been in the process of transitioning our development process for the combat engine. Wisdom Gaming did a lot of great work for us and got us to a point with the engine where we had a really good skeleton. But as kind of we've been developing there, it's been a little bit of a game of telephone between like getting a skill designed and then getting it over to them, and just there's kind of been a little bit of communication gaps, which has kind of led us to transition to doing the development of the engine in-house. So we've been slowly transitioning away from using their devs to our devs, and at this point we have fully taken on the development of the engine in-house. Though we do still have Workhorse working with us on developing skills and everything. Our partnership hasn't ended with Wisdom. It's just we've transitioned the way that we are doing the development of it. So that's part of the reason why it's maybe seeming like it's taking a little bit longer, but it also is actually making us a little bit faster as well. We just have a lot of little bumps to work out and get our development process all the way solidified. But in the background, there's been a lot of pretty rapid developments going on with Beetle Dude, just hammering out bugs and different things and getting the combat engine into a place where we all feel really good about it as we release the Void Hunts. So just wanted to mention that. And I don't know, Dreamer or anyone else, if you guys had anything else you wanted to add on that topic.
Yeah, sure. I think in terms of like game design versus game production, we're really talking here about things that we're in a transition period on is more on the production side. So game design hasn't really changed. You know, we have our we have our committee. Hubert's heading that. A lot of other awesome minds like Magnus and Beetle and Second Best Dad, as well as Workhorse and folks on the wisdom side. But the production side, you know, as you think about what goes into producing the code and testing it and deploying it and maintaining it, with two separate teams, it's kind of like writing a book and one voice starts writing it and then handing it over to somebody else and being like, well, I would have expressed this maybe a little bit differently. Let me adjust some words and maybe spell check or have a different voice. You know, going forward, our internal devs are going to be building a lot of the really big features. And so on the production side, it was imperative, like out of the gates, to work together to figure out, how do we even start? What's our foundation? Let's get our foundation going. Foundation's been now built, or a good chunk of it. Now we're starting to build on it, and building on it is much more effective. And I think, sets us up for more success in the future to have the production be more in-house. So definitely still working with the Wisdom guys, just leaning a little bit more on the game design and game production. You know, Kingdom Studios is going to be continuing to follow through with the work that's been going on for months on this transition period. It's a lot of hard work, and I just feel like Beetle Dude especially has been crushing it. So stoked on what we built so far and the foundation we have and the build on it, and really grateful for our ongoing collaboration and partnership with the Wisdom guys. And you never know, we could have other needs in the future on marketing or other collaborations, and we'll continue to keep them close.
Awesome. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Changing gears a little bit, wanted to talk about something in real life, which is... Oh, actually, first, I wanted to comment that the changing writers thing just made me think of Wheel of Time, when the original author passed away and another author had to take it over, which, if you haven't read Wheel of Time, do, which is the whole point of this story, was just to plug it because it's a great series. But anyway...
right now, can't wait.
Yes. On another real life topic, we will be in Singapore. We will have Dreamer, Sunbear, and Frisky Fox there. So I was going to pause and let them talk about that.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'm super excited about this. As you know, we are really thoughtful and intentional with travel, and spending funds to do these things. And right now just seemed like the real opportune time to get to Token 2049, to be there with our Avalanche partners. So we will be rotating through time at that booth, with that strong partnership and really being lifted up by them. We also have had so many different teams, current partners, possible partners, folks that we're in conversations with wanting to meet in that space. So just felt real important to be there. And of course, with the TV show now and everything, I'm sure Dreamer will speak more to that, but definitely lots of connections there as well. Plus, there's some speaking opportunities. Dreamer is going to be on a panel at the Asian Blockchain Gaming Summit the day before Token 2049. And yeah, just excited. And if you're there, please come by the Avalanche booth and say hi. We'd love to connect.
Guess I'll go next, and then Dreamer. But yeah, this is a really good one to be at. We were here last year in a really big way, and made a lot of really good connections from that. And we're here again, and I've actually, for the past 2 months, I've been having a lot of people reach out and just be like, "Hey, are you guys going to this? If so, we'd like to meet up," or this or that. And there's a lot of people that actually have reached out, and So my schedule's pretty full. I'm actually in Singapore right now. It's 2:20 a.m. I arrived earlier today. So I might actually cut out here in a bit after this because I have another meeting at 8 a.m. But I'm excited to be here, and it's gonna be really great. And I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of our partners here as well. So yep, I guess I'll try to do like a mini bullish now and head out. Bullish. You guys.
Thanks for joining us, Fox.
Bullish
Dreamer-
dreams, Fox.
Speaking of dreams, what a dreamer.
A nice transition. See you, Fox. See you in a couple days. Yeah, so we're really excited about Singapore, not only the ABCA event and Token 2049, but also the next Crypto Gem event put on by Brian Evans and his network, I believe. We'll see who's going to be showing up there, but that's going to be really cool. Brian is very well connected in the space. He's been in the space a long time. He's a big supporter of DeFi Kingdoms, and we've been working on a lot of ways to collaborate in the future, and we'll kind of maybe talk more about those officially in weeks to come. But when they throw quote unquote parties, it's not like a typical crypto party where you just kind of like buy out a bar and everybody drinks and high fives and leaves. The list is usually full of very influential people. As we are still kind of keeping warm the idea and the opportunity of a raise when the time is right. This is something that could contribute well to that in terms of exposure. Also, a lot of these meetings that I've gone to within this network, and I have gone to a couple in the last couple of months. I just had to keep it very much like under the radar because they were linked to the network of the show and could not talk about it. But excited about this event and party because of the attendees, the intent, what is accomplished there, and the connections that are developed, cultivated, and made at stuff like this. So ABCA is going to be great, as Simbar mentioned. Token, we're going to be hanging out with the Avalanche guys. They don't have an Avalanche gaming booth this time, so we won't have a big dedicated space, but they have like an ecosystem area that they're inviting us to be at for a bit. And then this specific party network and follow-on meetings that we will look to have, we'll be excited to report back on the week after. I do have a 31-hour travel back, though, which is really great. Very excited about that.
Always fun. Let's see. So a few updates that I wanted to give about some of the activity from our community builders. Shout out to ADFK. These guys have been around for a long time, but they just launched a new thing through their website. I don't think it has an official name, but I'm going to call it a gold drawing. But basically, you can enter in with gold. Every gold is an entry. And then I believe it runs weekly. And when it ends, 50% of the gold that was entered is awarded as a prize to the person that wins it. 25% of it is burned, and 25% of it rolls into the next one to seed the next raffle. So they aren't taking a cut out of this in any way. They're not, they're not getting anything. They're just building a burn mechanic. So really excited for that. Huge shout out to them. They just finished their first one, I believe, Wednesday night. And if I remember correctly, they burned like 600 and something thousand gold. So very, very excited for that. Massive kudos to them. It's a really cool feature. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I hope one of them is in chat right now correcting everything that I probably just said wrong. But very, very happy to see that and appreciate those guys. I also wanted to give a shout out to I Know Kung Fu of dfkcombat.com. He is also running a contest right now on his website where you can submit the ideal composition for combat, and they don't have to be heroes that you own. You can just build what you feel like is the ideal team. several prizes for that. Check that out as well. I forgot to mention with the ADFK, the several prizes reminded me. They also have it set up to where, other players can donate different items to that drawing, and they use those as consolation prizes. So there's multiple winners in every one. We actually, as DFK, donated some tiers to the first one as well. So both of those are really awesome to see. And thank you. And then also, if you have not seen, Dragon's Crossing is coming to DFK Chain. So if you haven't seen it, check out announcements, but there will be more to come on this. But their next season will be available both on their home chain of Arbitrum as well as DFK chain. It's a shared competition, shared prize pool, but you are also able to participate using DFK heroes. So if you've been thinking about checking it out, but you don't own one of their heroes, you can actually play this next season using one of the DFK heroes. So very, very excited for that. Excited to have our first fully chain integrated game outside of our own, launching on DFK chain, and definitely expect more to come from there. But I know I'm excited for this collaboration. I think it'll be great and it'll be fun moving forward. I feel like I just talked a lot. Does anybody have anything they want to add on anything I just threw out there?
I don't. I'll add because I'm excited about the utility that comes with this collaboration. We talk about interoperability and the potential with Web3 gaming and what Ready Player One and your assets that you own and appreciate and everything is awesome, and then you can take them to other games and I'll say blah blah blah, but I don't mean it blah blah blah. But we've said that a lot. It's really hard to get other people in the space to see that vision to the point of putting it to work, and really excited about Dragon's Crossing and DeFi Kingdom's collaboration there, and being able to see your heroes that we've all seen the utility for now, and not knowing that this potential utility being able to unlock, and then playing a different game and having a different experience come to life in a different way. It's the whole point, or one of the whole points of Web3 gaming. So excited to participate. Really honored that they want to not only have their game on DFK chain, but give all the existing hero owners added utility. And as we continue to pioneer the space, and hope to do the same with other games and people that are building currently.
Sunbear, I saw you had unmuted. Did you want to add anything?
If I unmuted, it was a mistake. Nope, I'm good.
Fair enough. Maybe I just.
I am excited. I am excited though about the collaboration. I love seeing teams come to DFK chain. The benefits of having those collaborations and that cross play. It's awesome. So yes, more people come build on DFK chain.
Nice. Let's see. So next up, we have all of our releases from this week, which we don't have Beetle here to celebrate with, but that's okay. But if you haven't been paying attention and you've been under a rock, Halliday is live in phase 1. We also now have built-in in-game tutorials, as well as a new combat demo, which Hubert mentioned earlier, that does not require a power-up to access. It is a little bit different from the combat testing grounds, using random heroes and random skills, but it gives anybody the chance to check out what we are building. So, Hubert, Magnus, anybody, Sunbear, Dreamer as well, anything y'all want to say on that front? It's been a big week.
Let's see. I did mention the tutorial stuff already, but I has been very happy with what we've done this week. It's great to see all this effort that's been going on in the background all come together and be able to be released. I hope you guys have all tried it out, tested it out. I think there's more to come with tutorials as we move forward, but we have that framework in place now. I guess that's all I have right now.
Yeah, but like everyone else has mentioned, that this has been like kind of like a few months in the making, or even maybe several months in the making to make the UX better with Halliday and with tutorials. And the game is like definitely in a state now where I wouldn't hesitate to send it over to some of my Web2 friends who know nothing about crypto, and I don't have to tell them to manage a seed phrase or anything like that. And then they don't have to understand everything about DFK before even logging in. They can go to the tutorials and just get a quick overview of what you need to do to get started. So I'm just really excited to be in this present state of good UX for DFK, and this is just kind of the starting point to going to be continually working on that over the next month and years, I'm sure. But yeah, just very excited to have launched with Halliday and the different ways to get onboarded. So yeah, just a very impactful release this week for sure.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to Halliday. Like they have been working closely with us for, I mean, now it's months really, but this is a solid team, a team that has really stepped up and seen the vision of DFK. And it was mentioned that this is the first phase in what we're doing with them. There's so many more things that are exciting that are coming that are really going to increase that user experience. To make it even better. And yes, like Magnus said, it's so nice to be able to send our Web2 friends to the site and actually in that space without having to leave, be able to have a wallet, be able to play, be able to purchase Jewel, Crystal, whatnot, and have those tutorials to where they can actually understand and play the game a lot easier. Very excited.
As we tie things back to the show, and as we're watching, in the coming weeks, there will be some interesting. There's the potential to be some interesting like feedback that we'll get, and you might want to pay attention to some of the releases that we're doing, and then also tie it back to some of the feedback that we might have gotten. And I hope that the community will be happy with how we have tried really hard to take feedback not only from the community through AMAs and others in the industry, but this specific experience, people are going to see firsthand questions asked or things, or maybe observing others, and getting right to work. So if there's ever something that is mentioned that is related to one of these, I think it'll click. We're looking for mass adoption. We're looking to break down the barriers to entry. We're looking to innovate the space so that not only folks that know of DeFi kingdoms within Web3 have an easier chance to kind of get started as they come check us out, but also those that don't even know what Web3 is or blockchain gaming is, as they learn about it, it's much easier for them. So even if some of these updates don't impact you directly as like a hardcore dedicated player that's been active every day for the last 2 years, try to imagine how they could impact somebody else that, like your friends were talking to, somebody watching a show, sees an ad, or was around in the first 4 to 6 months but hasn't since. The potential ROI here is really high, and I'm very proud of our team's hard work and our partnerships that we have been working on and cultivating.
Most definitely. And I'll just add to the tutorials I'm super excited about. That's something that I really care about. But with that, like, you guys are our players, you know the game as well as we do, and obviously better than people that have never experienced it. So we're also open to feedback on all of that. Click through the tutorials, see what you think of it. If you think that things could be worded different, or information here or whatever, please give us that feedback. You can DM me, tag me in Discord, whatever. But we want to make those tutorials effective. And so, if you have ideas on how to make them more effective, it doesn't mean that everything can be implemented, or that we'll ever, have it perfect to everyone's eyes. But we are going to continue building them out ourselves as well. But we're always open to that feedback because you guys know it, and you can see those gaps. So please give us that feedback, and very much appreciate it. Let's see here. Awesome. So, one last update from the Magnus Ironroot.
Hey, everybody. So I just want to say thanks in advance for your patience as I explain all the nuances with this DFK chain related update. It's regarding snapshots and getting new nodes online. I just want to make sure I kind of explain the reasoning behind we're taking this approach. So yeah, as I know several of you have been running into issues syncing DFK chain particularly those trying to sync an archival node. That in particular is like fighting an uphill battle with how quickly the chain is moving and just how much data is being pushed on chain, which is something to celebrate in itself, but it also comes with a few growing pains. So to that end, I've been working on capturing snapshots for both archival nodes and state sync nodes, which are kind of like lighter nodes that just have basically like the bare minimum they need to process transactions and host an RPC. So that process finished up this week. So if you need a state sync snapshot in particular, feel free to send me a DM, and I'd be happy to send you a one-time link to our AWS bucket and instructions on how to download that. AWS gives a max of like 12 hours for that download. There's also a per gigabyte cost for data transfer, which is why we can't open it up to the entire internet just yet. We just want to make sure we're not getting fees racked up by some bot that doesn't even care about the data. So just trying to mitigate some of the potential issues that could arise there. The state sync snapshot, it's only about 180 gigabytes or so when it's uncompressed. So it uses orders of magnitude less disk space than the archival node. It's also cheaper for us to transfer that to you compared to the full node, the full archival node. So we definitely like to steer everyone towards that route if you need a snapshot, if at all possible. I will mention it's possible to spin up a state sync node without the snapshot. I did it this week. It only took about 3 days. I mean, granted, we are using fairly beefy hardware. So if you're willing to kind of just spin up a node, you don't need it like super soon, and this is like your first time trying, I would recommend going that route. Basically, there's some good mechanisms inside of Avalanche Go to get all those bits and bytes needed from all the other nodes and verify that all. That's definitely the most decentralized approach. But once again, if you're having issues, and I know several of you are bootstrapping both with archival and state sync nodes, feel free to reach out on Discord or elsewhere, and I'm happy to get that node to you. Whenever you do reach out, just make sure it is actually me, it's not somebody else, because I will be sending a link back, and just don't want anybody to run across any malware or any scammers out there. So on the other hand, I know getting an archival node has been a month-long process for some people, and that's just not a great UX for our community. So if we're going to be setting up a form on the build site where you can request the full archival snapshot if state sync doesn't meet your use case. It does have a fairly sizable transfer cost associated with it due to the 3.4 terabyte size. So we just want to ask for a bit more background on why you need an archival node, and if you can justify that, we'd be happy to get you a copy. Just want to make sure we're being conscious of cost in that arena as well. And we did have one very generous organization in the community that has offered to host a mirror of the snapshot for a limited time. So we'll have more details on that soon once we get those details hammered out. Also, if there's anyone out there that would like to offer to host a mirror of the snapshot once you have that cloned and it's kind of validated working on your node, feel free to reach out to us about that as well. The more copies of DFK chain database out there in the wild, the better, since that decentralized ledger of everything that's happened on DFK chain is extremely important to get that in as many hands as possible. So, yep, that's it for me. Feel free to reach out with any questions. We're also going to be improving our docs around getting a node up to date too. So definitely want to put some focus on here. And I know it's been a little silent from us recently on that, just trying to get some things squared away there internally with snapshots and whatnot. So apologize for the long update, but thanks for your patience there. And I'll hand it back to Bolan now.
I appreciate it. And yeah, just to recap a couple of the pieces of that, we do have somebody that has offered to host a mirror for a little bit of the state sync node. So if you want a state sync node, but you don't necessarily need it immediately, if you want to just give us a little bit of time, there'll be a mirror that you can just snag and be good to go. If it is something that you want more immediately, reach out to Magnus. But for archival especially, that'll be through the build site, and you need a reason for needing an archival because it is expensive to transfer it. So just, think through your use case and what you actually need. But if archival is what you need, then let us know. We will make it happen. Awesome. Thank you, Magnus, for that update that I understood part of. I appreciate it. So we are going to jump into some questions. So, Hubert, in the last AMA, we mentioned that we were close to releasing 2 more codexes in the combat testing grounds, bringing the total to 5. Can we give a clue, riddle, silhouette, or scavenger hunt as to what those classes might be?
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think we might do something like that, but I don't have any info on that at the moment. But we'll be doing our typical fun time thinking about that in the background, and we'll get back with you guys.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's actually going to be that's a really good idea. I think we'll have some fun with it. I'm actually going to hit you with a question I didn't warn you about because I forgot that it was there, but I'm curious of your thoughts on this. So it was submitted to the features request board, but having a dark stylist, so similar to Dark Summoner, where you're burning heroes to summon new heroes, but instead of boosting rarity, you can apply boosts to aesthetic traits for those that love our visuals.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I think it's possible to do that. I don't know that it'd be something that we'd prioritize over the other things we're working on. But it's definitely something to kind of put on the list of other features to add as we're developing. So I will make a note of that.
Sorry, had to throw that one out there. Let's see. So I guess this is probably also mostly for you at the moment. So what are your thoughts? Do we have an opinion on potentially releasing the first iteration of PvP with only some classes available?
Yeah, so I think that is a good possibility that we'll do something like that. Especially, I'm not sure exactly when that'll happen, how many other classes we'll have out, but um, it is an effort to implement all of the skills and do all the balancing there. So as we do that effort, we could also we do have bandwidth for kind of parallel work, advancing PvP, advancing other mechanics in the combat engine in general. So I think that's definitely a possibility, but we don't have anything to announce specifically right now.
Awesome. All right. And then follow-up question to the question last week about luck. Jasper says he was being too coy about the real thing he wanted to know. It was mentioned that luck plays a role in processes that use RNG. Does that mean that luck plays a role in leveling up stats, including future luck level ups?
So no, luck does not play a role in leveling up. Leveling up just uses the level up stats that the growth stats that your hero has, and plus the bonuses and rarity. So there's no hidden mechanics with leveling up. It's all what you have on your card.
Nice. Let's see. So there's a question about functionality in the tavern to see which heroes had been recently rented out. That is a good one for Beetledude, so I will add that to Beetledude's list. It looks like that might have been an SD1 feature that never made it to Crystal Vale. So I'll add that to his list. Let's see, there's also a question about in normal summoning, filters are kept, but in dark summoning, they are not. That's a good Beetle one as well. So I will also add that to Beetle's list. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to throw this out there for you, Hubert. Thoughts on, so do we know if one job, this is for crafting, sorry. So do we know if one crafting gene plus the matching element would be equal to 2 crafting genes of the same, but no matching element, or any information yet on how they equate to each other?
Yeah, that's a good question, and one that I'm not prepared to answer at the moment. The crafting system has not really been developed in to a state where we would say this is finalized or anything like that. So more to come on that. Just mentioning that crafting is further out than other things. Like we will have travel out before crafting is out. So just to kind of make sure you guys are aware of how long it's going to take. So
Most definitely, I appreciate that. Let's see. So there's a great relationship right now between pet growth rates and the economic impact of having to feed them. More pets hatched, they require more food, which burns more mats. Wondering if anything like that has been considered for heroes. So right now the heroes don't require food, but potentially having something in place where you would need to spend some kind of resource to keep your heroes active.
So yeah, we do have a system that's actually been, in kind of place until or for a very long time now, and that's potions. It's not necessarily the same of just being able to use them, but potions are going to be a pretty important part of combat, and so as we, we're getting close to the point where we will have them integrated. It's not going to be for this first void hunt, but we're hoping for the next one we will have potions integrated in. So, and we'll be balancing combat around the thought that it'll be difficult to win if you don't use potions. So that will be, I think that's kind of been the intent there. Going further to having them eat food and things like that may be a step further than we're planning to take at the moment, but could be something down the road that we do.
Nice. Changing gears a little bit. Excuse me. Excited for the Dragon's Crossing collab, as are we. Will it use Joule as gas on the DFK chain? Yes, it will. That said, a couple people asked in the chat, and I do want to say it here as well. We don't expect there to be a massive impact on gas from Dragon's Crossing. A lot of their logic and their combat itself is off-chain, so it's a pretty minimal on-chain draw. But yes, it will be using Joule for its gas, which is also super exciting and part of the benefit of other projects building on DFK chain is that it's good for the ecosystem. So very much excited for that. Back to Hubert because it's his hour. Will future hunts be level and or area locked?
So just like with this hunt, we will likely have kind of a target level for them. So if you are trying it at lower levels than the target level, it will be more difficult because it won't scale down below that threshold. So it's kind of a soft lock in that regard. And then as far as like location dependency and things like that, yes, that is a plan to have it be. Once we have traveling out, some of these hunts will have to have you go to the far corners of the world to actually do the hunt. So there will also be kind of traveling components tied to it, and there may be some other restrictions about that you'll have to be able to get through as well, like doing other fights to even just make the realm accessible to you, or not the realm, but the region. So. More to come as we get closer to that, but we are kind of thinking along those lines.
Very, very nice. That is exciting for sure. All right, let's see. I'm gonna snag this as our final question for the day, partially because it made me chuckle. But could we get a limited edition, one only, Crypto Grady Hero NFT that could be a tournament, duel, or hunt reward? Could be a normal hero, but with an 8-bit graphic of Grady, and the animation could be a speech bubble that says, "Yeah, baby."
I like that idea, though. Yeah, as far as like kind of the precedent that's setting, I think it would open the doors for a lot of requests for a lot of other one-time only things, and I don't know that we have the resources to really open those floodgates right now. So perhaps down the road we'll be able to do more things along those lines, but at the moment I don't think we will be.
Yeah, definitely agree there. Much love to Grady. Not about him specifically, but once you open that door, it never closes again. So definitely something we would want to be careful about. And with that, we are going to wrap up for the day. I just wanted to say, as always, thank you for everyone who is in our audience. Thank you to everybody on the team who takes the time to come up here and answer our questions. Thank you to everybody who submits them as well. Don't ape into broken mechanics. But also just, it's been a really, really fun week. It's been a big week. We've got a lot of stuff that has been accomplished this week. And much love to everybody on the team that has been working very, very hard to make these things happen. Really appreciate you guys. Couldn't do it without our community. We are very fortunate to, as always, have the absolute best community in gaming and in Web3 both. And it's been a really good week, and I'm enjoying it. So any last comments from anybody? Let's go to let's see. I feel like Dreamer hasn't talked to him. Well, no, we need Dreamer to bullish us because he's on TV now. So who hasn't talked to him in a minute? Sunbor, what you got?
Bullish, baby.
Magnus, any final thoughts? Oh,
That's all I got.
Okay. Hey, that's all that matters. Magnus, any final thoughts?
Yeah. Just really like the just like effort the team is putting in the last weeks. I'm just continually impressed by what everybody's doing. And Holiday was a lot of work. Tutorials were a lot of work. Just a lot of I'm always impressed by what the team's able to deliver in such a short amount of time. So just looking forward to keep the train rolling and delivering more cool stuff for everybody in the community.
Thank you. One last thing, because I forgot to mention it. Dreamer mentioned it earlier, but we will be on with Grady tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is just over 5 hours from now. So along with Jet and some other folks. So make sure to tune in if you can. And thank you, Sarge, for sharing the link. Appreciate you. And over to Hubert. Final thoughts?
I feel like I talked a lot today, so I'll just say bullish, and there's a lot more exciting things in the future. We're working hard on getting the boar hunt finalized, and a lot of good progress has been made there, and it's really exciting to see kind of everything come together for that. So looking forward to it, and that's all I got for now. Thanks, guys.
And finally, our TV star himself, Dreamer.
Jeez. Thanks everybody for the support. It's nice to see kind comments, but it's also really good for others to see our community comment on how we're being represented in different ways. I think we've always tried to show up at physical events, on Twitter, on other socials, through podcasts and streams, and now we have a new way to do it. Initially this show is going to be airing on the internet on Distro TV, as mentioned. I did confirm it is Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific is when the next, remaining 6 episodes are planned to release that I believe will be streaming or then available on demand immediately after. So stay tuned for those. But we love you guys. We love the support. There's a lot of efforts going on that I think we are seeing much come to fruition, and a lot that are still, in the works. So I echo Magnus's really sincere comments of how incredible the team is day in and day out, night in and night out. A lot of hard work going out there for all of you, and for those that will join us and those that may have left and come back. So appreciate you all. This week has been incredible. Really look forward to this upcoming week and to the stream that's going on in a couple hours. So come join us then, or check it out when you can. But I will echo Fox's, Sunbear's, Hubert, Magnus, and Bolon's bullish. Thanks, everybody.
Bullish.
Bullish.
See y'all next week.